Hello, I'm Jay Nicoll from Nicoll Investigations, and we're here to tell you about some of the upcoming episodes of Ontario Cold Cases, the podcast, on the murder of Margaret McDonald. On June 26, 1994, 80-year-old Margaret McDonald was asleep in the early afternoon in her Lascelles Boulevard home, situated near Yonge Street and Davisville Avenue. She had dinner plans later that evening with a friend. While asleep, an unknown intruder gained entry to McDonald's home after forcing the glass sliding door open. Based on the pry marks of the point of entry, the suspect likely used a screwdriver or pry-like tool, police said. Police believe he broke in not knowing she was in there, and the rest what transpired was a result of him being inside her home and finding her in bed. Once the victim was discovered asleep in her home, the believed initial criminal intentions of property crime escalated into a vicious sexual assault and ended up as a brutal murder. Evidence is supported by the weapon of opportunity the offender used to attack her. It was a weapon the suspect did not bring to the crime scene. The suspect beat McDonald with a giant pepper mill. It was a weapon of opportunity, police said. McDonald's granddaughter was the person who discovered the body shortly after the homicide. Earlier that day, neighbors had reported observing two strangers knocking on other doors in the area. It's not known if these individuals are linked to McDonald's murder. However, homicide investigators do have one crucial piece of evidence that links the unknown killer to the crime: his DNA. In 2016, Toronto police were able to establish the suspect's description in Ancestry, given the advancements in forensic phenotyping. He's described as being of possible European descent, with blue to intermediate colored eyes and dark hair. Police believe the killer was between 20 and 30 years of age at the time of the homicide, now will be somewhere between the age of 50 and 60. A police sketch was previously released of the suspect, based on his DNA profile and 1994 witness information, that described him having long dark hair, olive skin, and dressed in leather tassels. There was no match of the offender's DNA when it was submitted to the National DNA Database, a setback that has not hindered the investigation moving forward. The Toronto Police Cold Case Unit are now focusing on the latest science that has seen some success with the identification of cold case homicide suspects in the last few years. Please consider subscribing to Ontario Cold Cases, the podcast, on Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts.